You know the lie. The one you tell yourself when it's time to work. I'll start when I have enough money. I'll start when I have the right tools. I'll start when things calm down. They are waiting for a version of their life that will never arrive. 200 years ago, in a small village in Japan, there was a boy who had every reason to wait. He had less than almost anyone around him. He had no money, no parents, no safety net. But he did not wait. His name was Ninomiya Sontoku, and what he built with almost nothing would go on to feed entire villages and would still be taught quietly 2 centuries later. This is a story, and it is not really about it. It is about the moment you are in right now, and that idea you still haven't started yet. Sontoku was born poor, in a farming family that already struggled. Then it got worse. His father died while he was still a child. Not long after, his mother died too. He was an orphan. No inheritance, no protection, no plan handed to him. If Sontoku had thought the way many of us think today, this is where the story would end. He had every excuse to stay small. Nobody would have blamed him for giving up before he began. But here is the first thing that made him different, and it is smaller than you'd expect. He didn't wait to have a big plan. He just picked up what was in front of him, and that was farm work during the day for barely anything. And at night, by candlelight, he studied. Not because he had a clear 5-year plan to become someone important. He studied because it was the one thing available to him right where he stood. People mocked him for it. They told him he was wasting time that should be spent resting, or working more, or just accepting his place. But he kept going anyway. Here is where his story becomes something more than a nice childhood tale. Sontoku started saving. Not large amounts. Because he had no large amounts to save, he saved tiny portions of rice and small coins. Amounts so small that people around him laughed. What difference could that possibly make? But he did not stop. Season after season, he reinvested those tiny savings. He didn't spend what little extra he gained. He used it to grow more. Slowly, what looked like nothing became something. What looked like something became enough. What was enough eventually became the foundation for rebuilding entire poor villages under his guidance. He gave this idea a name, Hotoku. It roughly means returning virtue, the belief that whatever small good you are given, you take care of it, you use it wisely, and you return more good than you received. Not through luck, but through repetition. Notice what is missing from this story. There is no lucky break, no sudden inheritance, no perfect starting conditions. Just a boy who refused to wait for a better moment to begin before taking action. Let's step out of the past for a moment, because this story is not actually about Japan or rice fields or the year it happened in. It is about a pattern that still runs through people's lives today, unchanged. Think about the person who wants to learn a skill that could change their income. They tell themselves, once I have the right laptop, the right course, the right time, the right equipment, then I'll start. So they wait, and the tools never quite feel like enough. The timing never quite arrives. So the starting day keeps moving further away. Think about the person who dreams of starting a business. They are waiting for a large amount of money to appear before they take the first step. Not enough to start small, only enough to start big. So nothing starts at all. Years pass. The large amount never comes, because it was never required in the first place. Sontoku had less than either of these people. He did not wait for enough. He started with what little he had, and let the discipline, not the amount, do the work over time. There is a second pattern worth naming honestly, because it is quieter and it kills more ideas than poverty ever did. It is the moment right before you begin something, when your mind suddenly fills with questions. What if this fails? What if people laugh at me the way they laughed at a poor orphan studying by candlelight instead of resting? What if I put in the effort and it turns out to be a waste of time? These questions feel like careful thinking. Often, they are something else, more like a way of avoiding the risk of trying at all. And so the idea sits. It does not fail. It simply never gets tested. It dies quietly, inside the person who had it, without ever meeting the real world. Sontoku was mocked exactly the way this fear predicts. People openly told him his effort was pointless. He let the mockery happen and kept saving his small grains of rice anyway. The mockery did not carry any real weight. Only the outcome did, and the outcome, decades later, proved every doubter wrong. There is a third weight worth naming, and it is one of the heaviest. It is looking at someone else's large success while standing next to your own small, slow progress, and feeling something close to defeat before you have even truly started. A career that looks faster than yours. A path that looks easier than yours. A life that looks further ahead than yours. This comparison rarely motivates. Mostly it exhausts. It turns effort into frustration, and frustration into stopping altogether. Sontoku's method offers a quiet answer to this, though he never framed it as advice. His entire life was built on tending to his own small resources, without measuring himself against the wealthier families around him. He was not competing with anyone's fortune. He was only responsible for what was in his own two hands. Today's grand, today's hour of study, today's small effort. Nothing more was required of him than that. Nothing more is required of you either. If you ever see an old photograph of a Japanese schoolyard, you may notice a statue standing near the entrance. A boy walking with a heavy bundle of firewood strapped to his back and reading a book at the very same time. That is Sontoku, not resting until conditions were ideal, not waiting for the load to be lighter or the timing to be better, carrying the weight and building his mind in the very same motion. He did not need the whole world before he began. He needed only what was already in his hands. Neither do you. So what are you waiting for? Start with whatever you have.